How's it going, everybody? Matt from Casually Crafted 3D again, and I'm here finally after months and months of work. I'm ready to show off my Toybox MT models. Um, First and foremost, before I talk about these guys, I have a couple of things that I want to cover. First off, if you saw the beginning of the video, I have a Patreon now. So the way that Patreon is going to work is it's not going to replace everything else. It's just going to be kind of like for those people that want to support me a little bit more. So on Patreon, I'm going to start posting files early before I put the videos out. If you're one of my members, you'll get access to the files before anyone else will. And just some, updates and stuff like that. Depending on what tier you go to, you'll be able to participate in some types of polls to decide what's next, or what models, what parts I make next. As well as I'm going to, as a Patreon exclusive thing, I'm going to put some free models and some free AC parts up there occasionally. So check that out. That's just for members only. It's free to sign up for. Just so long as you're a member, you will get access to the free items. Now, from now on, I'm going to be putting things on Patreon first, and then probably about a week or 2 weeks after that, the parts and stuff will go up on Colts as normal. But from the point of video release, the physical kits will still be available on like my Etsy and my eBay shop. So with that out of the way, just another little thing here, another disclaimer before I go over these guys, just because some people seem to be a little confused or just outright ignoring my warnings. These are not, or I am not, never will be, and never have made toys. These are not toys. These are meant to sit exactly like this. Well, not exactly like this, but however you build yours, you build it, you paint it, you put it on a shelf, and you look at it. That's it. Do not play with these, especially not these ones, because they are very delicate, or any of my other kits. They are not meant to be toys. One more thing before we talk about these guys that I did want to ask, because I didn't get that much outreach at the end of my last video. Do you guys want to see more gameplay streams? Because I did a stream with a couple of friends the other day where we played co-op mode. But is that some type of content that you guys would actually want to see, whether it be Armored Core or not? Because occasionally I want to take some time off from doing some modeling projects, and I would like to maybe stream once a week. So if that is something that you would be interested in, please let me know down in the comments if you want to see that. Let's talk about these guys. So in this video, like I just mentioned, these are extremely large pieces, and they are very delicate just because they're thin limbs, very thin joints and stuff like that. I will not actually be sitting here and articulating these whole things, like showing them on camera. I will talk about their articulation because they are fully articulated. Everything that you think should be articulated on this thing is articulated. So I will talk about them. I won't necessarily show it, but I am going to show off each of these individually. So this is the MB-0202 Rad Toybox MT, or Muscle Tracer. One of the larger enemies that appear in Armored Core 6. This one in particular being just like the base one that you see with the missile pods on the top that Rad uses. And this one is specifically the only one of these that you see in the game, which was from the Eliminate Honest Brute mission, which has the pulse protection generators on the shoulders. I'll go over each one of these separately. Yeah, I mean, obviously, looking at it here, you can't tell how large they are, but here is just an idea of how big they are, and I will do a size comparison a little bit later, but there is a 30-minute mission kit with both of them. So they are quite large. And these are the correct scale. These are meant to be the 30-minute mission scale. So at base size with my files and with the kit, this is how big they're going to be. So be prepared for that. Okay, and here's a better look at the RAD toy box. I mean, this is the base variant essentially. This is the one that you fight like almost entirely in the game. Of course, the Junker Coyote one was all pink, but obviously they have their special pulse protection variant, which we'll cover next. But I also wanted to show off that there are some option parts here for the hands because, believe it or not, a lot of people don't know that underneath these shields and all the Gatling guns, that's actually not their hands. This is actually an entire armature that they're holding. You can actually see in there they have little claws, and then the actual like zigzag part here is their arm. So I did make open claw pieces so that you can just have him without the shields if you want to. But he looks kind of funky with just his really long spine and then just the short little arms underneath the shields. But I do have these pieces for the open hands if you wanted to show them off without the shields. But like I said, I'm not going to cover, or I'm not actually going to sit here and physically articulate him, just because I'm at risk of this thing just exploding, because it is absolutely enormous. This thing is freakishly huge. Like, there's my spudger and my hand. Obviously, this is a very, very large piece, and I don't want to fight with them the entire video. So I will just kind of point and tell you what parts are articulated, because this thing is fully articulated. So I guess starting down here at the feet, each one of these ankles has a little ball joint in the bottom. It has a double jointed first joint on the rear knees. So here and here there is a joint that, can bend quite far. On the front leg here, it's a little different. It is a double joint here, but it can bend all the way back. On the front leg in particular, there is one single joint up here inside this yellow part, just for a little bit of movement, and there is a joint down here at the base, which can move quite a bit. And it can also rotate right there below that big yellow block there, so it can actually spin. For the rear legs here, there's another single joint right up here, just for a little bit of movement back and forth, and then we have another rotational joint right here above the hip or thigh, whatever you would call that, thigh joint. And then there are ball joints in here around the ring. So there are ball joints here, and this is more of just a pivot joint here on the front. The ring itself is all stationary. This section here is stationary built into it. But this spine has just a ridiculous amount of joints in it. So right down here at the base, it can rotate 360 degrees. And then basically, as it rotates around, I'll show more. But this entire spine is entirely articulated, like a snake. I actually have it kind of glued into place because it's a lot of weight that's on this top joint. But there's a joint here, 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 and here, all the way down it. It is 12 total joints, I think, so that you can really snake that spine into whatever formation that you want to. And on each of those joints are the different segments that are attached to it. Like the cannons are attached to the smaller segments, the missile pods are attached to the larger segments, and so on, all the way down it. So you can get some very unique looks to it. It can be kind of finicky to get it to move, but you can get it to look however you want to. And then up here at the base of the torso, there's another joint right here, just so the entire torso can pivot front and back. And there is a ball joint here in the head, right in the neck. As far as like where the arms go, there are ball joints here in the shoulders, and then there's another rotational joint here in the biceps. And then going down the arm, we have 3 different elbow joints. So one here, here, and here. So you can move that accordingly. Like I call them like zigzag arms. So you can move those however you need to position him. This is probably the most stable position that you can put him in. His wrists are just kind of pegged in here, as I showed with the option parts. So they can rotate. But they're pretty much stationary. The shields are attached onto base pegs right into the actual like Gatling gun block things here, so they are just kind of pegged in, but you can rotate them if you want to. So I had been asked a lot on YouTube and Reddit and all that if I was going to make this thing actually transform, and I basically the best way I can explain it is this thing follows the rule of cool for video game logic, and there's just I could not get it to do it. There's too much stuff going on here for it to feasibly actually be able to roll up into the ball, or the canister rather. So I kind of have a little bit of a cop out, but I did end up making the canister. And honestly, I don't know why anyone would even want this because it is just so ridiculously huge. As you can see, like it's like the size of a soccer ball. It's enormous. But I did do it. Basically, the way that I ended up doing it. So it has all of these panels. It has 5 panels that go around it. And then I'll just kind of take one of the panels off so I can show what I'm talking about. They're all interlocked together, so it's kind of hard to remove them once you got them together. But essentially, I made the base toy box kind of like a solid part in here. So here it is, basically. I made a separate unit, basically, for the entire, like a collapsed version of the toy box. And then there's basically just these 5 posts that go all around it where these separate plates will just interlock with each other together. And it does kind of just like puzzle together in order for it to work. But then you just have these posts where the shields, they're the exact same shields that are on like the regular one. You just kind of put them in there and then wrap all of the plates around it to basically make it how it would be all collapsed. So at least, I mean, I gave the option. I don't know if I'm probably not even going to like have this in the regular listing for the toy box, like the actual toy box. I'll probably have this as like a separate thing if someone really, really wants it. But it's an option that you have. Okay, let's do some size comparisons. I am panned very far out just to get him in shot. But let's compare some stuff. So first and foremost, let's compare him to some official kits. So you can see about the size of what we're talking about here. So here he is next to my painted Nightfall Raven. And here he is next to one of my unpainted orbiters. So you can see what we're talking about. And also, just want to point this out because some people seem to want to argue with me. If you don't believe that this thing is this large, I dare you, go into any of the missions where you see toy boxes. Hell, even one of the friendly missions, if you can get one to stand still, where you're fighting alongside them, like what is it? What mission am I thinking of? The one with Freud. Go into that mission, fly your AC right up next to one of these toy boxes, and quickly go into photo mode. And you'll see what I'm talking about. In photo mode, you will see that they are twice, if not more than twice, the size of your AC. So there's some official kits. So now let's take a look at some of my other models, the ones that I've made. So here it is next to an RAD painted regular bipedal MT. Here we have one of my guard mech models. Here is a aerial defense drone. And how about a combat vehicle, a boss combat vehicle? Also, why not? Because I have a couple other models laying around. Here he is next to a pulse protection or pulse armor. If I can get him to stand up correctly. There is one of my ghosts. And here is one of the attack helicopters. There we go. Also, just to show off how kind of ridiculously large this canister is, here it is next to Nightfall Raven. And how about a bipedal MT? Okay, and let's take a look at just the Junker Coyote pulse protection variant. Just get a better look at what's going on with him. So obviously he's just going to have the it's going to have a different back piece here with the where the missile pods were on the regular variant. It's going to be replaced by just kind of like a energy canister or something back here. But he's got the actual modules on the sides. This is the collapsed version. So they are separate pieces. This is actually not, it's not like all the panels are separate. They're actually just big blocks of plastic. So for the panels themselves, or sorry, actually the mounts themselves, wait for it to come around a little more. But there is a joint right here at the base of this, which allows it to rotate side to side. There is a joint right here, which allows for that little arm to rotate up and down so that you can pivot this however you need it to. Let me see, I can probably show this joint right here. There's a joint actually inside this, come on. There's a joint actually inside this gray part, which allows the whole thing to pivot up and down like this. And then here they are rotating out of place. And then there's a joint right here up inside, right where the panels actually meet, where there is another axis. I'm waiting for it to come around. Right there. There's a joint right there which allows the entire assembly to pivot in and out. So you can get quite a bit of motion out of these to put them basically however you want them to. I have them sitting kind of just naturally, kind of how it looked like in the game when they deactivate them, and they just kind of hang out on the sides of the body. So that's how I chose to position mine. So I made these guys here. So these are like different canisters. These are like the extended canisters that you can put on the back here, where these ones here, these are actually separate pieces. They're basically the shortened parts, because when it activates the plates, these extend on the back. So you have these to make that version. And then, of course, just because I was talking about it, here are all of the plates extended. And this part is quite large. I will warn you when assembling this, these things are a pain in the ass to get to stay together, and it is very, very, very delicate. So just be very, very careful with this when you attempt to assemble it. Because it can be quite frustrating at times. But I wanted to include all of the files and all the parts to make this, because I know that somebody will. I will not be displaying it with all of these, so this will likely just be put in storage for me because it's just too big. But here we have all painted up, all of the plate pieces. Like I said, it's just all folded out like it did in the game when it was deployed. And same thing here with the joints. That's basically just where it's going to plug into the body and where it can rotate. There's a joint right here for where this can pivot back and forth. And then right here, there's another joint where that can move back and forth. It can actually move down quite a bit too. And then there will be a joint up in here, which I just glued together for more stability. But there will be a joint here so this whole thing can pivot up and down. But I will put these on here so you can see what that looks like. All right, I had to pan way out to get it in shot here, but here it is with all of the pulse protection plates folded out with the extended canisters up top here, and the panels all out for the option parts. It's obviously very unwieldy when everything is set up like this. It's absolutely enormous, especially with all the plates out like this. So just be careful attempting to do this with yours if you end up picking one of these up. Okay, so we'll show off him next to a couple of other kits as well. Here's an official one here. This is Nightfall Raven again. And again, here is the Orbiter. So you can see how he looks like next to them. And why not? Let's show him next to a couple of other Junker Coyote creations. Here is a grenade cannon bipedal MT in the Junker colors. And here is a kicker and a puncher. I know I kind of put them in the back there a little bit, but you get the idea. Okay, so if you made it this far in the video, obviously, of course, guys, I really appreciate it. Obviously, these were an absolute monumental amount of work. I mean, even with making them articulated, I'm sorry that I can't really show it on camera, but these things were an absolute nightmare to design. I jumped from one hard to design model, which was the Ghost, directly into these, which just took forever to do. But they're done. They are at the point of this video releasing. You can acquire a physical version of this kit via any of my shops in my link tree below. Also, the files, as of this video, they're going to go up on Patreon first. So check that out there. They'll be released on Colts in just maybe like a week. I'll put them out there if you want to download them off of there. But they are available now on Patreon. But for now, thank you so much for watching the video. If you like this kind of stuff, obviously leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Check me out on all my socials, and definitely check me out on Patreon. I appreciate it so much. You don't necessarily have to become a patron or anything. Just check it out. There's the free option, which will give you, membership, and it'll give you access to some free files at least. So definitely check that out if you would please. But yeah, thank you for watching the video, and I will see you in the next one.